Okay, so in this video we are going to learn how to solve simultaneous equations. We'll firstly solve simultaneous equations using the elimination method, and we'll use the simplistic elimination method available firstly to us. We're going to understand the elimination method by a question. For example, we have a question: x plus 4y equals 15, x plus 5y equals 18. So simultaneous equations are two equations that have a value of x and y, and we need to solve for both of those values. We can call the first equation equation number 1, and we can call the second equation equation number 2. Now, in elimination method, you need to cancel out that variable which has the same coefficient but has a different sign. Now we see that y does not have the same coefficient in both the equations. One y has a coefficient of 4 and one y has a coefficient of 5. Whereas x has the same coefficient, x has a coefficient of 1 in the equation number 1, and x has a coefficient of 1 in the bottom equation as well. But in order to cancel them out, x has to have opposite signs, whereas x in equation number 1 and equation number 2, both of them have the positive sign. So in order to cancel them out, we're going to have to multiply the second equation by the negative sign so that x becomes a negative x, and we're able to cancel it out in a much easier way. First equation will remain the same, x plus 4y equals 15, and the second equation is going to become negative x, negative 5y equals negative 18. Now the equation number 1 has a positive x, and equation number 2 has a negative x. We know that we can cancel out the positive x with the negative x. We know that 4y minus 5y is going to be negative y, and 15 minus 18 is going to be a negative 3. So we have minus y equals minus 3. Negative negative cancels out. We have y is equals to 3. Now, if we need to find the value of x, we're gonna take either of the two equations from the question. Let's take equation number 1, and instead of y, we're gonna plug in the value of y, which is 3. The question was 4x plus 5, x plus 4y equals 15. Instead of y, plug in 3, we get x plus 4 bracket 3 equals 5, x plus 12 is equals to 5. Then we have x is equals to 5 minus 12, and finally x is equals to minus 7. So when y is equals to 3, x is equals to minus 7. Let's try another question, question number 2, and let's try solving this question with the elimination method as well. Equation number 1, we have equation number 2. Equation number 1 is 3x plus y equals 3. Equation number 2 is 4x plus y equals 2. And we know that y is something that has the same coefficient in both equation 1 and 2. But they cannot be cancelled because they have the same sign, which is a positive sign. X has different coefficients in both equations 1 and 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the second equation with the negative sign. Equation number 1 remains same, which is 3x plus y equals 3, whereas equation number 2 is going to become negative 4x, negative multiplied by 4x, negative 4x, negative multiplied by y is going to be negative y equals to negative multiplied by 2 is going to be a negative 2. Now we have a positive y in equation number 1, negative y in equation number 2, that gets cancelled. 3x minus 4x become a negative x, 3 minus 2 become a positive 1. Minus x equals 1, x is equals to minus 1. We have the value of x. We're going to take equation number 1, which is 3x plus y equals 3. Instead of x, I'm going to plug in minus 1. 3 bracket minus 1 plus y equals 3. Minus 3 plus y equals 3. Y is equals to 3. Minus becomes a positive 3. Y is equals to 6. So when the value of x is minus 1, the value of y is 6. Trying another question. We have question number 3 is 4x plus 2y is equals to 22, and we have another question which is 3x minus 2y is equals to 6. And in this we see that y has the same coefficient in equation number 1 and 2, and they already have opposite signs as well, so we do not need to change the signs over here. What we're going to do, we can simply cancel out positive 2y with a negative 2y, and hence we cancel it out. 4x and 3x become a 7x, 22 and 6 become a 28. So 7x equals 28, x is equals to 28 upon 7, and x is equals to 4. This is the value of x, and now we need to find the corresponding value of y. We take the first equation, which is 4x plus 2y is equals to 22, and instead of x we're going to plug in 4. So 4 bracket 4 plus 2y is equals to 22. It's going to be 16 plus 2y equals 22. And we have 2y is equals to 22 minus 16. 2y is equals to 6. Y equals to 6 upon 2. And y equals to 3. So when the value of x is 4, the value of y is 3. I'm going to give you some practice questions which you need to solve by yourselves, and when you're done solving them you can check them with your teacher. Now they are going to be solved in the exact same manner in which we solved the above questions. Now once you're done solving those questions, you can resume this video, and then we are going to try solving questions from an elimination method again, but with a bit different kind of an elimination method. For example, question number 1 is 4x plus 2y equals 6, and question number 2 is x plus 4y equals 18. We have equation number 1, we have equation number 2. We see that neither of the coefficients of neither of the variables are same. X does not have a same coefficient in either of the equations, nor does y. So what are we supposed to do? We see that we can make x into 4x by multiplying it with 4. However, we're not going to multiply just x with 4. We're going to multiply the entire equation number 2 with 4. And when we do that, equation number 1 is going to remain as it is, which is 4x plus 2y equals 6. Whereas equation number 2 is going to become 4x plus 10y is equals to 72. Equation number 1, equation number 2. Now we know that both equations have a 4x, but the sign needs to be opposite, so we're going to multiply equation number 2 with the negative sign. Equation number 1 remains 4x plus 2y equals 6, whereas equation number 2 is now minus 4x minus 10y equals minus 72. Since we've multiplied the entire equation with the negative, 4x and negative 4x get cancelled, plus 2y negative 10y becomes a negative 8, 6 and a minus 72 become a negative 66. Beg your pardon, this 10y should have been a 20, 4 times 5y is a 20y, so it should have been a 20y over here as well, and plus 2y minus 20y should have rather been a negative 18y. And now negative is going to get cancelled on both the sides, Okay, negative negative gets cancelled. We have y is equal to 66 upon 18. 66 gets cancelled 38, 89, 13, 3 to 11, 11 upon 3. So when 66 and 18 is simplified, we get an 11 upon 3. We now need to find the corresponding value of x. We have 4x plus 2y equals 6. And instead of y, we're going to plug in 11 upon 3. So 4x plus 2 bracket 11 upon 3 equals 6. 4x plus 22 upon 3 is equals to 6. It's going to be 4x is equals to 6 minus 22 upon 3. We have 4x is equals to 18 minus 22, the whole thing upon 3. 4x is equals to minus 4 upon 3. And then x is equal, 4 gets carried on the other side. X is equals to minus 4 upon 3 times 4. X is equals to minus 4 upon 12, 1, 3, and then we have a negative 1 upon 3. X is equals to negative 1 upon 3. So the value of y was 11 upon 3. The value of x is negative 1 upon 3. Now we're going to try solving another question, which is 3x minus 2y is equals to 2, and then we have 5x minus 3y is equals to 3. We have equation number 1, we have equation number 2. And since we see that 5 cannot be turned into a 3, 3 cannot be turned into a 5, 2 cannot be turned into a 3, 3 cannot be turned into a 2. So we see that we can make the coefficients of y equal. We can even make the coefficients of x as equal, but I'm going to choose to make the coefficients of y as equal since they are shorter in value, smaller in value. So we're gonna try to make 2y if we multiply 2y by 3, we can make it into 6y, and if we multiply 3y by 2, we can make it into a 6y. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the entire equation number 1 by 3 so that 2y becomes a 6y. We're going to multiply the entire equation number 2 by 2 so that the minus 3y becomes a negative 6y. Hence that way we'll have the coefficients of y as similar to each other. Now when we expand this and we further solve this, we get 9x minus 4y is minus 6y in fact is equals to 6, and then we get 10x minus 6y is equals to 6. We have equation number 1, we have equation number 2. Equation number 2, let's multiply with the negative sign so that we have a positive 6y. In equation number 2 we need to multiply the entire equation with the negative sign, hence equation number 2 is negative 10x plus 6y equals negative 6. Equation number 1 renders same. Since the signs are opposite, we can cancel out negative 6y with the positive 6y, and then 9x minus 10x is going to become a negative x. 6 minus 6 becomes a 0. Minus x equals 0. X is equals to 0. So we have the value of x for us, and we need to find a corresponding value of y. We copy the first equation, which is 3x minus 2y is equals to 2. We plug in the value of x as 0. So it's going to be 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 2. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2y is equals to 2. 0 minus 2y is going to be negative 2y. So negative 2y equals to y is equals to 2 divided by negative 2. Y is equals to minus 1. The value of x is 0 and the value of y is minus 1. Now I'm going to give you some practice questions, which once again you have to do those questions on your own, and when you are done doing them you can check their working with your teacher. Okay, so we attempt these two questions. Now we attempt these two questions, and then when you're done with them, check the answers, and you're working with your teacher. When you're done doing them, let's resume the video and come towards the substitution method. When you're done solving them, we come to the substitution method. Now let's take an example of a simultaneous pair of simultaneous equations once again. Question number 1 is 3x plus y equals 6, and question number 2 is x plus y is equals to 4. Now we see we're going to solve this question using a substitution method. So what we're going to do, let's pick out equation number 2, which is x plus y equals 4. And from that we can make either of them the subject. We can make x the subject or y the subject. I choose to make x the subject. We could have made anything subject from equation number 1 as well. That's completely up to you. So we make x the subject. That means transposing x. Transposing x. That means making x alone on one side of the equals to, y goes on the other side, becomes a negative y. So x is equals to 4 minus y. Now equation number 2 has been made into this. Now what we're going to do is this new equation, this is obviously equation number 2. Now we're going to substitute this equation number 2 into equation number 1. Now if we would have changed equation number 1 over here, we would have plug it into equation 2. Whichever equation you are changing, you need to plug it into the opposite equation, not back into itself. Like if I would have changed equation number 1, I would have plugged in it into the equation number 2. Now since I need to substitute equation 2 into equation 1, I'm going to write equation number 1, which is 3x plus y equals 6. And instead of x, I'm going to write 4 minus y, which is a substituted value. So instead of x, I'm going to write 4 minus y. So 3 bracket 4 minus y plus y equals 6. So 3 4s are 12 minus 3y and a plus y equals to 6. This becomes 12 minus 2y equals 6. Minus 2y gets carried over this side, 6 carried on this side. 12 minus 6 equals 2y. And 12 minus 6 is 6, 6 equals 2y. 2y is equals to 6. Y is equals to 6 upon 2, which is essentially y is equals to 3. Now the equation number 2, which we formulated earlier, we're going to write that x is equals to 4 minus y, and we plug this value of y instead of y, so x is equals to 4 minus 3, x is equals to 1. So when the value of y was 3, the value of x was 1. Let's try another bit more complex substitution equation. Okay, so equation, let's make something subject from equation number 1. It's once again, it's completely up to you. I choose equation 1 and I choose to make x the subject. You could either make y the subject. So I need to make x the subject. So I'm going to write over here that make x the subject. That means transpose x. And transposing x means taking everything on to the other side. transpose for x, that means taking everything on the other side and leaving x alone on one side of the equals to. So we have, for example, 3x plus 4y equals 24. We're going to first take 4y on the other side. It becomes 3x equals 24 minus 4y. And now we're going to take 3 on the other side to make x alone. So it's going to be 24 minus 4y, the whole thing upon 3. Now this equation number 1 has been made into this equation, which is x is equals to 24 minus 4y is equals to this. So now we're going to substitute this new equation 1 into the opposite equation, which is equation number 2. We have 3x plus 5y equals 27, which was the opposite equation, which is equation number 2, and instead of x we're going to plug in 24 minus 4y upon 3 plus 5y equals 27, and then we open the bracket up. 3 multiplied by 24 becomes the 72. 3 multiplied by negative 4 becomes the negative 12y upon 3, and then you have plus 5y equals 27. And we know that we cannot just add 5y with 12y because it does not share the common denominator, which is 3. So we need to make its denominator 1 into a 3 by multiplying it by 3, and 5y also has to multiply by 3. Now this becomes 72 minus 12y plus 5y upon 3 is equals to 27. 72 minus 7y minus 12y plus 5y is a minus 7y. 3 gets carried on the other side. 7 times 3, 72 times 7y equals to 50, 81. And then my 72 minus 81, 7y gets carried over there. (72) minus 81 becomes a negative 9, and then 7y on the other side. Y is equals to negative 9 upon 7. Let's recheck for a silly mistake. No, we need to plug in y into the original equation x, but let's check for a silly mistake. I beg your pardon, this 5y should have been a 15y, hence we're going to have to erase and fix some of it. 5y, instead of 5y I'm going to write plus 15y in the common denominator, so it's 72 minus 12y plus 15y upon 3 is equals to 27. 3 gets carried on the other side. It's 72 plus 3y is equals to 27 times 3, which is 81. 3y is equals to 81 minus 72. 3y is equals to 9. Y is equals to 9 upon 3. Y is equals to 3. We found the value of y. Now we're going to plug it into the substituted new equation we found earlier, which is x is equals to 24 minus 4y upon 3. Instead of y, we're going to plug in 3. 24 minus 4 bracket 3, the whole thing upon 3. X is equals to 24 minus 12 upon 3. X is equals to 12 upon 3. Then we have x is equals to 4. So when the value of y was 3, the value of x was 4. Now I'm going to give you some practice questions which you need to solve them on your own. And when you're done with them, check your answers with your teacher. And if you need any more practice questions for simultaneous equations, please reach out to me.